Well, in the mornings, we might require a little warming up, whether it's a shower, maybe a cup of coffee, to feel like we're fully functional.
Right, one of those numbers. Our car is similar, though, especially during these colder months. That's one of the questions loaded in the hopper today.
In the hopper. All right, here to answer the questions in the hopper and a few others. It's a pleasure to welcome back Amanda Fink-Shaeffer.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Nice to see you again.
Good to
Surprise.
see you.
Going to be our word du jour.
Yeah.
Well, we thought your dad was coming, Peter Fink.
Yeah.
And then we looked in the green room and it was like, well, who's
And that
that
was
pretty
you,
lady?
yeah.
We're glad
Your
to
hair
have
grew
you.
fast, Pete.
Yeah, right. All right, let's get to the first question. Martha's up first. The car wash I go to is offering salt removal services. Is something like that worth spending money on? What's the worst case scenario if I don't do anything about the salt residue from the roads? And this is a great question because it's something I was thinking about after the first snow as well.
That's a great question for us here in Nebraska. You know, I don't know that I've ever done like a specific salt residue type wash. I guess I didn't really know they had them. I usually do most of my stuff at home.
Basically.
Yeah.
Well, it's very important. That's what I was going to say. A lot of people are like, oh, my car's all nice and shiny on the outside, but like getting underneath is really important. So when you go do it yourself, which in the winter most people don't anyway, but when you go to those self car washes, they're great, but you really have to make sure you get underneath with the salt stuff. It can really start rusting things out and causing issues. And getting in the wheel wells, I mean, that's where a lot of the cars are always rusted out, like in the back, you know what I mean, on those quarter panels and stuff. So it is important if they're offering something like that. I mean, if it's not that much more, I would say it's worth it.
If it's
Worthwhile.
I mean, if it's
$100,
$100, I don't know if I'd do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, if it's a few dollars, I mean, I would say so. I mean, definitely.
Good
But
to
we
know.
probably all don't wash our cars as much as we should, just like we don't do a lot of stuff for our cars as
No,
much
I always
as we
do.
should.
I wash my car when I look at my coat and I see all of this like milky, chalky residue and I realize I brushed up against it and my car was
Or I get
filthy.
out of the car and then I have like a line on the back of my pants,
I
like
know.
where it hit the bottom. Yeah.
Ah, come on.
I know,
Yeah.
it's time. Yep.
All right, let's get to a second question, and this one comes to us from Jake, who writes, I have a 2007 Mini Cooper with 76,000 miles. It's slipping in second and third gear. My check engine light isn't on, even though I can feel my gears stutter when I transition from second to third gear, especially on hills. The rest of the time, my car runs fine. Any idea what the problem could be? And thanks, Jake, for sending it in.
Well, this is a good one. We got a tranny question. Maybe. The thing is, and the good part about Jake's car here is that there's only 76,000 miles, so that's pretty low to have like an internal transmission problem. The other thing is we don't really see very many Mini Cooper tranny problems. I think though on the 2007 Mini Coopers, I mean, there's a lot of different transmissions in those cars. There's like 3 different options. There's a CVT transmission, there's manual transmissions. I don't think it's manual because, you know, didn't say that it was manual or that he has to shift it, but then there's the automatic one. So he could have some sort of issue going on or some sort of computer issue, but if it's worse up hills, that could actually maybe even be engine related. Usually, and I don't want to say all the time, but usually when we get people that say my car's not shifting right or it's sluggish going up a hill, lots of times those can be an engine misfire or some sort of problem like that, or clogged exhaust lots of times can be a tranny problem. But that's something where, I mean, we only charge $39.95 to check out the car, takes about an hour, and we can then verify whether it's transmission problems, something like a computer or something more major internal, or if it's an engine related or something like that. And then if he doesn't have a place that he goes to, we can certainly recommend. And for things like Mini Coopers that are kind of specialized, we know different shops in Omaha that can do those types of work.
Well, and who do just as good of a job as you do, that you don't feel like you're going to get taken by picking a name in the phone book.
Yeah, and I mean to make sure that people do all their education work and stuff like that to stay up on top of cars, you know, because they're not the same as 1992 when the business started, you know, staying on top of it.
Well, this third and final question, we've had this one on the show before. Your dad has answered it. Bridget wonders, does my car need to be warmed up on cold mornings if it's been in the garage?
Well, maybe we should pull the old ones and see what Pete said. I hope we say the same thing. I guess I don't know. Yeah, it is always a good idea, no matter what temperature it is outside, to at least let your car run for a minute or two, just to get all the fluids moving and everything like that. On very cold mornings, if you park outside, definitely let it warm up. I know it sucks to run out there and like start it up and stuff if you don't have a remote start. That'd be a great Christmas present, though.
Oh yeah,
But
I had one of those years ago.
Oh, they're
Troy
worth
did.
it.
I mean, throughout the year, even when it's hot out, you're using it for the AC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are nice.
It is nice. And even in the garage, our garage is, you know, 40, 50 degrees, especially in really cold times. So yes, for a minute or two if it's in the garage. If you're outside and it's really cold, like below freezing, 5 or 10 minutes is a good idea. You don't want to let it warm up for like 30 minutes, but 5 or 10 minutes is sufficient.
Well, you can just feel like when it's really cold, like, you know, 5, 10 degrees
doesn't
out,
wanna-
when you get in your car and you start it up, it's like molasses is in where the oil should be.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Right.
starts slow. I think it's a good idea.
They're kind of like us on those cold mornings.
what we
They
were
don't want to
saying.
get going.
You need your coffee, you need your shower, you need to wipe the sleep from your eyes. Our cars need similar treatment.
Yep.
Amanda, thank you for coming in
Thank you.
today. We always appreciate it. And if you have any questions for Peter or Amanda, we'll let you know in a second how to get those in. In the meantime, 5 locations. So Jake specifically today. Otherwise, you might feel like you've got a tranny problem. Get it looked at. They are specialists in the field, and you can make appointments online at certifiedtransmission.com. Thank you, Amanda.
Amanda, good to see you.
We always
too.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
have a good
And
holiday.
by the way, that email address is talkback@omahamorningblend.com. You can also leave questions on our Facebook wall, but if you go to omahamorningblend.com, you'll see a big yellow button on the page that is for Certified Transmission. Click on it and submit questions there if it's most convenient.